It's Monday night, and yes, it's time once again for VoiceOver Body Shop. Randy Thomas is joining us tonight.
And she's right over there.
She's right here, and we'll be talking to her. We got some tech questions, a mystery from last week solved.
I'm going to tell you why you don't get high, kids. Don't get high. We'll talk about that.
All right, coming up on VoiceOver Body Shop. Don't miss it. We'll be right next after this thing.
Two men, twin sons from different mothers, with a passion for voiceover recording technology and the desire to make recording easy for voiceover actors everywhere. Together, in one place, George Whittam, the home studio engineer to the stars, a Virginia Tech grad with an unmatched knowledge of all the latest gear and technology in voiceover today. Dan Leonard, the home studio master, a voice actor with over 30 years experience in broadcasting and recording, and a no-holds-barred myth-busting attitude for teaching you how easy it is. Together, finally, to bring you all the latest technology, the superstars of voiceover today, and leading the discussion on how to make the most of your voiceover business. This is VoiceOver Body Shop.
VoiceOver Body Shop is brought to you by VoiceOverEssentials.com, home of Harlan Hogan signature products. Source Elements, makers of Source Connect, Source Connect Pro, and Source Connect Now. VO2GoGo.com, everything you need to become a successful voice artist. VoiceOver Extra, your daily resource for VO success. The VO Dojo, take your voiceover career all the way. J. Michael Collins Demos, when quality matters. And by VoiceActorWebsites.com, where your voice actor website shouldn't be a pain in the butt.
And now, live from their super secret multimedia studio in Sherman Oaks, California, here are George Whittam and Dan Leonard.
Good evening, I'm Dan Leonard.
And I'm George Whittam.
And this is VoiceOver
Body Shop.
or VO BS.
Hey,
Alrighty.
that sounded awesome because you know what I did this week?
You had the mics on?
I turned on all the mics when they said that. For the first time ever, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we actually have a fairly good-sized audience tonight here in the
know.
studio.
Just about every
Let's
chair
get
is full.
the audience shot there, Andrew, and so you can see everybody wave. Okay. All right, that's enough. You're done for the night. Okay, so Randy Thomas is with us tonight.
Yes, she is.
We're going to talk about voiceover mastery and all the cool stuff that she does in her amazing career.
And they have a podcast, too. We'll hear about that.
We will hear about that. And we've got tech questions. We've got all sorts of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we get the show on the road now?
And now, the VoiceOver Extra VOBS News, the latest and most comprehensive voiceover industry news. Brought to you live.
For October 10th, VoiceOver Extra News report Global Voiceover Market. Attending voiceover classes and events like the one we'll learn about on tonight's webcast is welcome relief to spending so many hours alone in our voiceover booths. And besides education, it gives us a sense of community. But where or how do we really fit into this expanding global biz? A new report called the Report on Global Voiceover Market, commissioned by Voices.com, gives some perspective on that.
Based on data from Voices.com and public sources as of 2015, the report concludes that voiceover is a $4.4 billion annual business. A category labeled entertainment accounts for 58% of those dollars, far exceeding amounts spent globally on advertising, 19%, business 18%, and education 5%. And while 14% of the jobs are completed in North America brings in 19% of the global thing. Also, North America corporate promotional work accounts for the greatest share of voiceover work at 24%. More from the report is on an article on voiceoverextra.com, including details about the data sources.
For instance, does the data include work generated by voice actors through their own self-marketing efforts? Voices.com CEO David Ciccarelli explains to VoiceOver Extra that the publicity available industry statistics include data from Audio Publishers Association, UNESCO, Statista, Corsia, an online education thing, and a bunch of other sources. Data from voicebank.net, the online casting company for agents, was not there because, whatever, it's going way too fast. Anyway, I didn't want to hear what he had to say anyway.
Cicerelli says there are some unexpected findings regarding the type of projects and where they happen geographically. For instance, while radio commercials are often what come to mind when thinking of voiceover, those projects actually represent less than 1% of the total market. Globally, animation, specifically videos less than 20 minutes long, represent slightly more than half of the total work done, but in North America, it's only about 1/5 of the total voiceover spending.
North America, on the other hand, had proportionally much greater shares of the work completed in corporate promotional videos, internet videos, audiobook projects, and those happening significantly more often than elsewhere in the world. You'll find more observations in VoiceOver Extra's article, plus a link to the entire report, and that's at voiceoverextra.com, your daily resource for voiceover success.
And I recommend you read it because you may have missed a couple bits of that article.
But yeah, read the whole thing. But I didn't care for whoever was, the person being interviewed on there. So
you were editorializing.
I was, no, the teleprompter was going. See, we tested the teleprompter.
I swear.
You said it was fine.
It was fine. Okay. That's because it started at the bottom before. When I joined in, it was already at the top.
Right.
That's the difference.
Okay.
All right. I have my excuses.
Okay, that works for me.
Anyway.
So what's going on in the world of tech with you?
Oh, man, the world of tech. Don't get high, folks. Don't get high. If you're using Mac, it's probably not nagged you quite yet. I haven't seen it nagging me about getting high Sierra. But if you're on Mac OS, you're using Sierra currently, just don't get high Sierra quite yet. This same thing, we talk about it every year around the same time of year when Mac OS has a new version that comes out. And so high Sierra is the latest thing. If you buy a new Mac, it's going to probably have it on it. If you want to avoid having it, a couple of things. One, if it's asking you to upgrade, don't. So far, they're not forcing you to upgrade to a new operating system. They're not, it's not mandatory to keep your computer running yet. But for now, you can just keep running what you've already got. And if what you got is working, then just keep it. If you're going to go buy a new Mac and you're really concerned about getting stuck on an operating system that you can't use, maybe consider getting a refurbished Mac or buy a Mac from like a local retailer, like a big box store, like a big Best Buy, or go to one of those smaller mom and pop stores that sell Apple products. Make sure it's, a licensed store, one that has warranties and things like that.
Right.
But get it from off the shelf because they're going to be sitting in the warehouse and have Sierra on them. So if you get a brand new one, it may already have high Sierra. So why does that matter? Who cares? Every year you upgrade and you tell me, it's fine. I didn't have any problems. And that may be true for you too. You may do the upgrade and you may have no problems. But I'll tell you, it's kind of like playing Russian roulette with your studio. And you really want to have a system that is rock solid, reliable, and has been tested and debugged for a period of time.
Yeah.
So,
never be the first one to try something.
Not really. Not if you're a voice actor. If you're a geek like us, or you have a second or a third computer, or if you're really a geek and you've got a separate boot partition, which is something I've actually done before, and that allows you to boot into High Sierra or boot into your old system, then, go for it. Have fun and report back.
Yeah. Apparently there was a bad iOS update this week, too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's iOS 11, right?
Something like that.
They're up to?
Got a desperate call from my mom.
Ooh, that's desperate.
Yeah, it's just, my Words with Friends doesn't work. I did an update and it doesn't work. And I'm like, well, see if there's an update to it. And she goes, it won't let me do it.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, well, they're working on it because they just updated the OS. And I warned you, never update the OS until I tell you to.
Here's the thing, though. They make it really hard to avoid that.
That's what she was
iPhones.
Saying. Yeah.
Very hard.
Like, you must do it.
It will keep asking you. I have an Android on Verizon, and Verizon pushes their own updates, right? And they don't say don't install. They say delay it for up to 24 hours. And they'll say, when do you want to install it?
Yes.
And then it keeps bugging you. And you'll just keep saying no, no, no. And one of these days, you'll just hit the wrong button. And it'll say it'll install the update at the worst possible time.
Yeah. I'm finding the problem that people really have with their computers is they
Yeah.
don't see very well.
Oh,
It's like I hit this button and boom, everything was gone.
yeah.
Why did you hit that button? I thought it was that button.
Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah, and the screens
Check
are getting
your eyes.
sharper and sharper, but in some cases the text is getting smaller and smaller.
Right.
On Mac, you can hold down Control, and I think it's 2 fingers on the trackpad,
Okay.
and it will zoom in what's on the screen.
oh,
and make
mine
it
does that
bigger.
by itself. It's like, whoa!
You have that feature. Okay.
Yes.
That could be helpful for some people. But anyway, just let us know if you did install it and you're using Twisted Wave. Make sure you're on the absolute latest update of Twisted Wave, which is 1.18.3. I believe that is the most up-to-date version, and that is supposed to support High Sierra. You should be okay with that. The reason we're really careful is because it's not fully debugged. It's the version that just came out, and the drivers for the hardware you use, your Scarlets and things like that, they may not be fully debugged. So you just don't want to take that risk. And let us know how it's working out for you. If you are using it and you're like, hey, it's fine for me, send us an email to the guys at VOBS.tv. Say, I'm using High Sierra, and then tell us what you're using otherwise. What hardware do you use? What software? And that way we can let people know. The other thing is, over the weekend,
Oh, yes.
we both saw.
Blade Runner 2049.
We did. We didn't see it together.
No,
but that's cool, though, because we got 2 somewhat similar experiences. We both
Yeah.
ended up seeing it in a Dolby theater, right?
Yeah.
Was yours Dolby?
I don't know if it was Dolby, but it sure was
If
loud.
it was Dolby, you would know because they advertise it for about 10 full minutes before
Yeah.
the movie starts.
Yeah, well, it was like the one theater was like $3 more.
Right.
But
This
same
was-
reclining chairs, the same
damn
popcorn.
chairs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
I don't see a lot of movies in the theater. I'm too cheap to do it. But this, I decided I'm going to go for it and see it in the Dolby, the full-blown Dolby Cinema theater. And AMC Woodland Hills has one of these screens.
yeah.
The first thing is you walk in, and it's like being in a Best Buy where all the, those Sony boom boxes with lights inside that
Oh,
show you
yeah.
the speakers and
Yeah.
everything. It's like a car. It's like walking into the world's largest car stereo. All the speakers in the theater, all the columns of speakers, everything is lit up red. They're all glowing because they want you to see that there's something like 90 speakers in the cinema. The subwoofers are hanging
10 stories high.
Yeah, the subwoofers are suspended from the ceiling,
Yeah.
and every single seat has a bass shaker attached to the seat. So when there's bass, you literally feel it. It freaking vibrates.
Yeah, the soundtrack for that was just a tad jarring.
It was very jarring. I mean, I'm telling you, if you like amusement park rides, see it in the Dolby Theater.
All right.
The thing is, it's like going into a Universal Studios or some kind of ride that lasts for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Right.
Like, too much of a good thing is not a good thing. I'm telling you. If you do go, bring earplugs. I'm not kidding. The next day I woke up and I could hear my ears ringing.
What?
That's how loud it was. It was really freaking loud. The movie was amazing.
Yeah,
it was stark. It was definitely everything I expected from a Blade Runner movie. If you didn't like the first one, do not go see
The
this
second one. Oh, you'll go, what?
You're not going to get it. It's really dark. It's long. It's really out there. But I'm a fan, and I really enjoyed it. See
Cool.
the first one, so you can see this one. This is a
Right.
continuing storyline thing.
Yeah.
But man, it was quite impressive.
Cool. Technology. We love to go to the movies here because it's important to support local business.
Right.
Anyway, so Randy Thomas is going to be with us in a few minutes. We've got a couple of tech questions, so stay tuned. We'll be right back here on Voice Over Body Shop.
As a voice talent, you have to have a website. But what a hassle getting someone to do it for you. And when they finally do, they break or don't look right on mobile devices. They're not built for marketing and SEO. They're expensive. You have limited or no control. And it takes forever to get one built and go live. So what's the best way to get you online in no time? Go to voiceactorwebsites.com. Like our name implies, voiceactorwebsites.com just does websites for voice actors. We believe in creating fast, mobile-friendly, responsive, highly functional designs that are easy to read and easy to use. You have full control. No need to hire someone every time you want to make a change. And our upfront pricing means you know exactly what your costs are ahead of time. You can get your voiceover website going for as little as $700. So if you want your voice actor website without the hassle of complexity and dealing with too many options, go to voiceactorwebsites.com, where your VO website shouldn't be a pain in the you-know-what.
Just relax.
I am relaxed. VO2GoGo.com. Everything you need to be a successful voiceover artist. VO2GoGo.com's voiceover curriculum is a 5-time winner of Backstage Magazine's Reader's Choice Awards for Best VO Classes and Best VO Teacher, David H. Lawrence the 17th. It's 36 classes online or in person across a year-long course featuring just classes in the art of voiceover, but also in the commerce and science of running your voiceover business. And each month's class comes with a full workout for the participants. Unlock the entire curriculum, 45 hours. If you like to do that kind of stuff. But get more details to sign up for a pro membership at VO2GoGo.com/VOBS. That's VO2GoGo.com/VOBS. Go over there and check out David H. Lawrence and VO2GoGo.com.
Every Monday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Voiceover Body Shop. I love when they talk BS about VO.
You're still watching VOBS?
You're watching VOBS.TV. I don't know why. It's crazy what they do here. I think I'm going to go somewhere else and have a cheese sandwich.
Man, there's one show that I can't miss. It's called VOBS. And a lot of people are like, VOBS? What is that? That is BS about VO. And I love VO. How much BS is going to be in this show? There's only one way to find out, baby.
Body Shop, fast teleprompter and all. To slow that thing down.
Man, that's like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it's not like reading PSAs. You know, the Legionnaire of Tonawandas will be having a barbecue this weekend. Anyway, so George and I, aside from just making utter fools of ourselves every week, are also professional home voiceover studio engineers and consultants. And if you need help building a studio, or something's wrong, or you just don't understand exactly what you're supposed to be doing, we're the guys to do it.
Maybe you don't know what it's supposed to sound like.
That's
which I
right.
think is a big thing for a lot of voice actors. Even people that have been doing it for a while. They may not really know.
Is it supposed to sound like?
Yeah.
Whistle.
Yeah.
So
just if you're wondering, then Dan's got a specimen cup.
Yes. Go to my website, homevoiceoverstudio.com, and just go to the bottom of the page. There's a specimen collection cup. Click on that. Send us a specimen
of audio.
MP3, unprocessed, and I'll give it a listen, and I'll generally be able to tell the size of the room, what your acoustics are like, what your mic technique is like, whether your modulation is too high, whether your modulation is too low. But I won't comment on what your talent is.
And if you send it to the sound check box on my website, I'll tell you what color underwear you're wearing.
Ooh.
So I've been doing this a while. But anyway, we can do that. We can help you with your with setting up your studio acoustics and all that kind of stuff. That's what we do. I'm over at georgethetech.com.
Excellent.
What's happening? We have any questions? Or are we going to revisit something from before?
Well, we have to revisit something from last week, which involves using
something called
DawView 2017.
Okay. Well, last week, our social media director, Jack Daniel, was here, and he had a problem with he thought it was a problem with his microphone. Mm-hmm. And he sent us a picture of his spectrograph.
There it is.
There it is. And there we are in front of it here.
And the problem is
this line here.
There's one.
There's one there. There's a couple of lines here. And we're like, I figured it was either his voice print or perhaps there was a problem with the microphone.
Right. I'm not keeping score, but I think you thought it was the voice print, and I think I thought it was the microphone.
I said it could be either.
I
wasn't going to commit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we didn't know. We really didn't know what it was. We were kind of guessing.
Yeah. So Jack,
you
what
tell
did Jack
us
do?
what you found out.
Am I on this mic?
Yeah, we got
You're on that mic. Okay.
So I ended up taking it to a guy named David O. Brown. He's in the Santa Monica Mountains. Terrific guy, kind of lives out there, cloistered away, and he lives and breathes mics. So he did what he calls his magical U87 procedure. The mic haven't been a U87. He said he's been seeing a lot of this coming, a lot of these U87 AI models come in. So he actually took it for about 6 hours, and I had it back. So I said, I use this mic a lot. So he took it, and he just basically took it apart, cleaned everything out, did his sort of special magic procedure, and I picked it up, brought it home, and my spectrogram was perfectly smooth. It had gotten rid of all those, the things that we had
anomalies.
seen. All the anomalies that you guys were talking about speculating on. So it was a fantastic resolution for a pretty low price.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy.
So the spectrogram looked good. The question is, could you hear a difference?
I
Did
could.
it sound different?
I could. And honestly, the problem I had been pretty subtle in the first place. I had been using that mic, auditioning, booking stuff. It wasn't an issue, but to my ears, it was bothering me.
Yeah.
And when it bothers you, it can affect your performance.
It's true.
So I really wanted it to get back to where it should be, and I did notice the subtle change. Was it worth the money? I don't know, but for me, it was.
Peace of mind.
Yeah, peace
I
of
mean,
mind.
if you've got a mic of that quality and of that value, you want it to be running in tip-top shape for sure. So.
If you're in LA and you want to know where this guy is, let me know. I'll hook you up.
Okay,
Cool.
great.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
Our next question, with that mystery solved.
What was the working title we came up for
Surprise the
Wasn't it? I came up
guys?
with it, Billy.
Surprise the guys?
Surprise you guys.
I think that's what we're gonna. Now that's what we're kind of call this.
Surprise the
When you
guys.
send something in, you tell us next week what it is. Surprise the guys.
Yeah.
If you guys have a better idea for what to call it, let us know.
Please
But right
do.
now,
That's
I'm
the
liking
working title.
surprise the guys.
Yes. So anyway, and if you have a question for us, of course, you can send it to us at theguys, obviously enough, at VOBS.tv. Thank you, Andrew.
And if you have a question for us, like right now,
Throw it in the chat
you need
room.
to be in the chat room. That's
Right.
the place to be, right on VOBS.tv.
And Jack, with his great sounding voice, even better sounding voice now, will relay that question to us. We got a question from Richard Hercher with a video showing his VU meter and stuff in Audacity. It says, I reached out to the Facebook page. Okay, the tech issue I'm having, or maybe imagining, is that my 2i2, his Scarlett 2i2, is too quiet. I got a first-gen 2i2 about a year ago in one of those Focus Studio bundles.
Focusrite.
Thank you.
Focusrite Scarlett 2i2.
Right. A freebie mic, an XLR cable, headphones.
The mic is
Yeah, that's that thing. Yeah. After moving and setting up a new recording space moving blanket fort in my basement, he has a basement. That's
for
the
him.
thing under a house for you people not living in or for you people living in California. I noticed it had I had to have the gain turned up almost all the way on my 202. The phantom power is on. It doesn't matter if I have the input set to line or instrument, and it's the same in both inputs. I figured it was time to up my game and get a new mic, and picked up an AT2050.
decent mic.
Very nice mic for a very good price, and a monoprice XLR cable off of Amazon. The issue is the same. I'm pretty sure I'm hitting levels I want. The noise floor is acceptable, but I have to leave the gain turned up almost all the way, so it works, but it feels like it's not working right. I'm including a picture and a screen capture of my Audacity monitoring window to show the levels I'm seeing. Any thoughts? I used to have to turn down to avoid hitting the red spike ring on the interface at the recording space at my old house. Well, it's got nothing to do with this
To
house.
avoid hitting the red spike ring. Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
that thing has a
It's a
little
little
light
ring.
around it,
Right.
and it glows brighter. It goes from green to orange to red, or
Green to
something
yellow
like
to
that.
red. Yeah. Do we have that video of that, Andrew? Fire that one off.
Hey guys, this is Richard. I had posted a request for some crowdsourced technical support on the VOBS TV Facebook page, and I had noted that I'm having problems, and maybe not problems, but some strange behavior with my Focus Scarlett 2i2. So what's going on right now is I am currently sitting at my recording station. I've got it hooked up to my MacBook Air via USB. I'm sitting about a handspan away from my new AT2050 microphone. It is set for cardioid recording. I have the dB pad turned off. I have the roll-off turned off. And my 2i2 is set so the gain is almost all the way to the right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So from what I could see on the screenshot, the levels actually weren't all that bad.
No,
he's saying the gain is almost all the way up to get that level. I find it's pretty common to have to run the gain on these interfaces at almost full volume, like 4 o'clock-ish.
3 to 4 o'clock on a clock face. And sometimes people think it's like at 3 o'clock. Well, I'm really pushing it.
Yeah.
You're really not. On the Focusrites, we've noticed that it's fairly weak up until about 2 o'clock, and then you've got that sweet spot between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And that usually brings it out. And if don't be afraid of overmodulating if you bring it up that high.
But I'll tell you what will throw you off is in your cans, the original 2i2 has a pretty lousy power, does not have a very powerful headphone amp.
Yeah.
So you're going to still have the impression, if you're wearing headphones while recording, you're going to have the impression that the levels are really low. So don't go by that. Don't go by that metric. Also, can you show that image of the video clip again, Andrew? We don't need the audio or the playback, but is it possible to throw it up again?
There we go.
There we go.
Hey guys, this is
I
Richard.
need to see it.
I had
You know what?
posted
We don't see.
crowdsourced technical
Oh
support.
yeah, you see the microphone gain slider? You can just see it at the very top of the screen.
It's all the way up.
It's all the way up.
Maybe not
Okay, that's
problems,
weird.
but some
Okay, that's not what I was going to
behavior
expect. I
with my
expected it to be
focus
all the way
or
down.
Right. Well, the interesting issue is when I looked at the actual waveform.
Yeah.
First off, it was in stereo.
Right.
When one channel was blank.
Right. It was
And
only the right channel.
It was only the right channel was blank. The left channel had a waveform in it, but it was really tiny.
Oh, so that's just like bleed or something.
Yeah.
Whatever just bled over.
So it might be a matter of his channel selections within the Mac OS. If he's using a Mac, he didn't specify that.
Yeah, we didn't catch that part.
Yeah, but it's an interesting mystery.
Well, it was also weird because in Audacity it said the recording was mono.
Right.
It said in one mono something. So
But
if
it was still recording in stereo.
It was still recording stereo. So just make sure in your preferences that you set your recording mode to mono for sure. You only and you should plug your mic into the left input and record channel 1 off the left input. That's going to give you the most pain-free experience using stuff like that.
Yep.
But other than that, you know what? Come back to us next week. Let us know if anything we said made
any sense at
helped
all.
you in any way whatsoever for Surprise the Guys. And we'll
Surprise the Guys.
We'll let you know what happens.
I actually, that one's going to start to wear on us, I think.
I think so.
I think
Say it
it's gonna
enough times.
Surprise the Guys.
Say it too many times, it doesn't sound like words anymore.
No, it's really. Okay. Randy Thomas is going to be joining us in just a couple of minutes here. We've got, we're talking about voiceover mastery and all sorts of cool stuff. And of course, you get a chance to ask any question you want of us or of Randy. All you have to do is get in the chat room, and Jack Daniel, our amazing social media manager, in studio tonight, will take that down and get that to us. So stay tuned. We'll be right back here on VoiceOver Body Shop. Do not go away. Are you confused about how to set up and maintain a professional quality voiceover studio? No wonder. The information out there is mostly mythology. This is the best microphone to use. You have to have a preamp. You need a soundproof booth. This software is the best. Your audio must be broadcast quality. Consult with someone who knows the truth. Someone who's been there, in the trenches, doing voiceover for over 30 years. Someone with unparalleled experience with voiceover studios, who's worked with hundreds of voice actors and designed hundreds of personal studios. He knows how to teach and cares about your success. In one of the harshest environments known to voiceover, your home. Dan Leonard, the Home Studio Master. Separate myth from fact and get a handle on your personal voiceover studio.
Contact the Home Studio Master at homevoiceoverstudio.com. Drop off a specimen of your dry audio for a free analysis.
Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about Source Elements, one of our lovely sponsors of the show here at VOBS. Source Elements, they're the creators of Source Connect. This is the software you use to connect to other studios in real time in the vein of things like ISDN. Their products right now are really the premier system right now that is being used in post houses, film and music studios, and big broadcast networks. Maybe you've heard of CBS. They're known to use Source Connect to connect to their talent. And it's really, really reliable software. If you've got a good internet connection, you're going to have a good connection with your studio. It's really, really well done. They have top-notch support. And you can buy the software outright if you like, or if you're more into the subscription thing where you can spread the price out over time, you can get it as a subscription. Some people might call it a rental. And you can get Source Connect standard as a subscription, or you can actually rent to own Source Connect Pro, which is something I forgot about. They reminded me of that recently. So Source Connect is a fantastic tool. I recommend you get it going in your studio if you want to be treated like a pro. And I use that carefully, but it's true. It really is one of those things that you show that on your website. You say you have Source Connect. It shows that you're ready to work with the big clients, the big studios, and it's really top-notch stuff. Go check it out. You can get a 15-day free trial at source-elements.com. And we'll be right back here with Dan and Randy.
VOBS is still on? Seriously?
You're listening to VOBS.
Yep, this is VOBS, proving anybody can have a show these days.
VoiceOver Body Shop. Learn the latest in voiceover technology. Learn how to get rid of that VoiceOver Body Shop. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on VOBS.us.
And welcome back to VoiceOver Body Shop. You know, we have a great guest tonight. She's been with us a few times, and she always has something interesting to tell us about the stuff that she's doing. And but she's a legend here in Hollywood. First lady to actually do the live announce at the Oscars and a bunch of other cool stuff. Let's welcome to our show, Randy Thomas.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Well, thank you very much. So nice to be here.
Yeah, we need a band.
That's true. And I realized I came here live in person a year ago.
Yep.
And then prior to that, we did it via
Skype.
It was a Skype,
yes, right? Back when I was in Buffalo.
Wow, you were in Buffalo and I was in Florida. Things have really changed.
We're all, now it's like a total harmonic convergence.
And we're all hanging in the valley. We're valley people.
We're valley people.
Yeah.
You know, lots of good food here. So, welcome back to the VOBS Clubhouse.
Thank you.
Or what do we call it? The Honeycomb Hideaway.
It's awesome. First of all, you've definitely done the upsweep with the door entrance. I like the way I come in now.
Yeah.
And the studio itself looks great. I love how you guys do this because I've just started a podcast recently, and we're not nearly as tech as you are.
Well, we got 6 years on you.
I do my chicken scratch, or it's in my iPhone. I don't have anything that scrolls as I'm reading.
Yeah, well, it's scrolling a little fast on us tonight. So
well, you need to work on that speed. That's probably what it's telling you.
That's true.
Or take speed. Whatever it takes to get to the coffee.
But don't get high, Sierra.
Right, but don't get high.
Right, exactly. So what have you been up to lately?
Just working, you know.
Tell us about some of the stuff you can tell us about.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to talk about, VO Mastery because this is our 4th year. We've been doing it for 4 years, first 2 in Florida, and last year and this year here in L.A. at the Sportsman's Lodge Hotel.
Mm-hmm. We're doing it again
last year.
I did come last year.
Yeah. And you're going to actually be doing one of the, will you be engineering for us?
I'll be engineering, and you asked me to be a judge for something.
Yes, so I can explain that.
Explain.
Okay, so in the Sportsman's Lodge, where our general session will happen from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m., we have session after session after session. David Kay is our keynote. David K. Ratchet and Clank. God, what doesn't he do now?
Yeah.
He's in video games, animation. He just did a new Dr. Seuss. He does promo. He does narration. He does radio imaging.
Yeah.
He's really one of those triple threat kind of guys.
And he's a really intense guy, too. When
really nice.
Yeah.
So smart.
Yeah.
Really, really a smart man. Loves to travel around the world. He's quite up on wines, and he belongs to a wine club that puts him at a table with the ambassador of Austria and fascinating people. So the kinds of conversations he has on a daily level are pretty interesting in my book. So he'll share some of that worldly knowledge with us in his keynote. And so then we have folks like Mark Cashman doing commercials, Mark Grau with video games, J. Michael Collins, e-learning, talking about the business of voiceover. We have 2 top LA agents. The 2 top agencies that you could think of in this town. We have one from each of them.
Cool.
We're not supposed to promote their names in advance, apparently.
We
the
know who they
franchised
are.
agents, you know who they are.
Yeah.
Well, you know who I would want anyway,
Right.
so that you can guess. Robert Siglampaglia is coming. So in every session...
Siglampaglia.
Siglampaglia.
Yes.
I am always mispronouncing his name.
He's mispronouncing it. It's not an easy name.
I didn't know if the second G was hard or...
Siglampaglia.
Paglia.
He's been on this show, actually, I think, 2 more times than you have.
Because you need a lawyer, that's why.
That's right. We all need a lawyer.
So he is bringing his A-team. It's the A-team that you need to have. An accountant, an agent, and an attorney.
And Mr. T.
Yeah, and Mr. T. Kelly Doherty from iHeart. She is Kelly from KISS FM and all the iHeart Top 40s. She's the vice president of radio imaging. So she and I are actually going to do a masterclass on radio imaging. Joe Cipriano.
The SIP.
He's going to do a masterclass on Friday night. So the 27th is when the masterclasses are. The 28th is the all-day event. Joyce Castellanos, promo and commercials. Dave Walsh will be teaching narration.
He's great. Yeah.
Alyssa Weinzimmer on vocal health. I don't know about you, but I've been running into a lot of people that are sick lately.
It's going around.
And
I've got
now.
it too. Yeah.
Get out. And I hugged you.
I'm not sick. I mean, I think it's the allergies.
Oh, okay,
here. There's a
that's
lot
what it
of California is very dusty.
It's true.
It's it's really bothering my uvula.
It bothers my weenus, actually.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. And Andrew Berger from Power 106. He's going to be doing some radio imaging. So every hour throughout the day on Saturday, October 28th, we are doing live reads in the room. So why do we need a judge? For the live reads. So you will be in the room, and whoever gets up, 2 or 3 people every hour will read live. And I have certain judges that I'm placing in the room, and you get to decide who the winner is.
Oh, okay.
And your engineering skills will come in handy on Friday and or Saturday at some point over at Media City Sound. So the way that we feel that voiceover mastery really works is that those that want to take general sessions and get a ton of information about many aspects of voiceover should do the general session. If you feel that you're ready for master classes, like Mr. Jack Daniel, he will be taking master classes, and those are going on at Media City Sound. So it's a little orchestration that we do to get people back and forth between Media City, Sportsman's Lodge Hotel.
Good thing they're close together.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the plan. And then afterwards, from 5 to 8, we have a big party over at Hyperion, which is on Ventura Boulevard. It used to be a restaurant known as Pinot years ago, but it's got an incredible bar, and we're taking the whole thing over.
Yeah, and the party last year was fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, and everyone was there.
Yeah.
Everyone who was anyone.
Well, we're hoping that'll happen this year, because I know that, especially, the work that you guys do, you deal with a lot of pros that build their own home studios, and they're already working at the top of their game, and they may not feel like they need to come to VO Mastery to study or learn, but come to the after party.
Yeah, they'll always come to a good party.
Trust me, Shovita's got tickets selling for the after party, because we realized a lot more people that actually came to the event wanted to come to the party after. So we're going to control it. But the thing that we find that that people come back to us every year about VO Mastery and why they like it is I pride myself on bringing the best pros I can find into the workspace, but it feels exclusive and inclusive at the same time. I don't have 200 people, 300 people. I'm not interested in those kinds of numbers for an event like VO Mastery. I like my pros, my judges, my engineers. We're all with the attendees, and when they say, hey, when you did this, Dan, can you explain? You know what I mean? Like sometimes people just want to know things, and that's why we try to create this environment so that for one day you can have the lifetime experience of really A to Z in VO.
How many attendees did you have last year?
I think we had, well, we were in a smaller room at the Sportsman's. I'm not sure. I'm thinking we had about 90. We should have about the same, but we have a bigger space this year.
Oh, good.
So, and we have fantastic, and well, but that's in the room. But then we have 30 people over at Media City. So I can't actually fit everyone at the hotel. We're going to have to keep people at the Media City Sound.
Just do it around the pool. That's all.
Well, that's it. So that's where we will commingle during lunch, breakfast, and then at the party after. So that's, it's a traffic thing, kind of like bringing flights in and out.
If somebody goes to an event like this, and I've been to a lot of these events.
Yes, I know.
I'm as an attendee just to learn stuff, a lot of times teaching stuff. What is it that people need to do to get the most out of an event like that? I mean, you've got a lot of diverse classes, and what would be a good way to pre-plan going to something like that?
I would take a look at all the coaches and really get to know the pros that are there and understand what their strengths are so that you can take the advice they give you and go, oh, well, their sound is like mine, or they work with a lot of people that are successful in this particular area. And so I think you just want to study your coaches. You want to invest the time to really be present, listen, volunteer, ask to read, ask questions. I know that some people, they get shy. And let's face it, if you're a voiceover person, you may not have that same personality as someone that wants to be up in front of the room. Many of us work in a vacuum. We work in a booth, and we tend to be alone often. So I would say that is probably one of the big reasons people like to come to, if it's not my event, any event. It's a chance to get out, connect, commiserate with your colleagues about where you're at. If you're frustrated that you're not working enough, maybe, you can find those people you can commiserate with, or you can just be inspired to take the lead from the people who are teaching and say, you know what, if they did it, I can do it. Yep. A David Kay, I don't know that he had the career he has today 10 years ago. He really thought about what he wanted to do. He worked with his agents. He became very specific in all the areas he wanted to work in. He trained, and then he slays the auditions. So if you're with an agent or you're up and coming and you're not slaying your auditions and booking, every 5th thing you're reading or 10th thing you're reading, I think you need to come into this class. I know a lot of pros who are really great, who have had great times in their career, who really could come and sit back in a day and really get what all of these pros can offer. Because I've been over these months doing these Wednesday webinars and having the coaches come on and coach people, and I feel like I've learned so much, and when I put myself in a room with all these pros, it's hard for me not to get some takeaways that I hadn't thought of that can help me improve. And we're all always trying to improve.
Right. That's the mark of a professional. You're constantly, upgrading your skills and keeping a pace with, with what's going on in the industry. And the business has changed a lot in the last 10 years,
it's true.
15 years.
Right.
I mean, it's affected all our careers. So you're going to be meeting people who have made that transition in this industry. A lot of them, Some of the ones I met last year, they've been big stars for a long time. Not that there's a lot of stars in voiceover. We're professionals. We work hard at our business.
Correct.
These people were the stars.
No, they are. The animation people are. I mean,
Yeah.
they go to Comic-Cons.
Right.
A Tara Strong, she makes 20, 30,000 for one day appearance at a Comic-Con. And the Jess Harnells and E.G. Daly and Debbie Derryberry, they
Molly
are all
Wingert
in demand.
yeah.
They're all working pretty much every day. Debbie actually teaches. She coaches a little bit.
I've worked with her. She's fabulous.
Isn't she amazing?
She is.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone in animation hear someone read a character and be able to immediately dial them in. I mean, but we're talking pros. I think if you're a beginner, you wouldn't want to study with Debbie Derryberry, but she is teaching a master class for less than it would cost to study with her for an hour if you were to book it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's why we put together these master classes, to make them affordable. We have some folks like Jack who's going to take advantage of numerous master classes because we've put all these pros in a room for him.
How does a master class differ? I mean, people hear that phrase all the time. I mean, some of them are going to just be presentations of here's what I do, here's how I do it, that sort of thing. How does a master class differ?
Well, I think we keep the numbers down. So between 6 to 10 people tops in any one master class. So if you have like an agent, a top LA agent in a room with you, and there are only 7 other people reading for her, and she's telling you what she's looking for, she's telling you how her pros are booking every day and what the secrets to those bookings are. And she is directing you in a way that if you were signed by this agency and you went in there, how you would be directed. And she's directing you toward a performance that could book you the job. So that's an example of what an almost 2-hour masterclass would be like. Joe Cipriano, he goes to different events and he speaks, but this is going to be almost 2 hours in a room with him reading promo copy. And then we've got Eliza Jane Schneider. Did you have her on recently?
I don't think we haven't had her on yet.
She's amazing. So I'm actually going to be doing one of her things tomorrow, and she's going to be doing her accents and dialect, which is something I want nothing to do with. I don't do that kind of work.
It's fun stuff when you get to do it, though.
Yeah.
And
you like doing characters?
I do characters.
For games or animation?
And for animation, my son's stuff primarily, but it's getting popular. So I get the fun to do that and work with some other great people as well.
That's good. So if you were hired, you could do those 5 ancillary characters or whatever.
And I have, yeah.
Wow, good. Yeah,
in video games, it's like,
that's not what I want to do.
Okay.
But good for you.
You don't have to.
I know. Right now, I'll be doing some audiobooks soon, which is something I hadn't done in a long time. But that's after VO Mastery. Everything seems to be, I think we're about 19 days out.
Yep.
So it's that final crunch, and we don't have many more seats, but I would like to see everyone that wants to come to VO Mastery to take advantage, and I believe we even have a discount.
You can tell us about it, or should I tell them about it?
Why don't you tell them about it?
Let's talk about it. Okay. They're having a giveaway, one general admission ticket to attend. They have to use the code I am a winner to redeem at checkout.
Okay.
And let's see here. We can only share that with one winner, though.
Right. Okay.
We're not going to tell everybody here you won this.
Okay. It's not you pre-read that one.
Yeah.
Isn't it the first one that gets it?
Something
the
like that.
first one that opens it gets it.
Yeah.
That's what I understand.
That's the way it seems to look.
So how shall we give the ticket away? Do you do a randomizer or do we do trivia? What do you think?
I think you should do trivia.
Trivia. Okay.
Yes. So what would be a good voiceover trivia question?
Something that's not super, super easy to Google.
Yeah.
Right.
Really.
As if everything we do isn't Googleable.
That's true. That's true. I was going to say, which Oscars was the first one that Randy live announced?
Okay.
All right.
We can do that.
Could be a good.
Okay, Jack, you're watching?
Yes.
I'm watching.
Okay.
Okay. So, that means they're going to pop into the chat.
They will be in the chat room.
People in the chat. Or you can be on chat or the Facebook.
Or the Facebook.
Or the Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm going to watch the Facebook comments.
Okay.
And Jack,
So
you watch
They're
the
dividing
chat
and
room.
conquering.
That's right. That's
Okay.
how we do things here.
There you
It's
go.
a team effort.
Okay. Well, that was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And somewhat painless.
Yes, it sounds like it's going to be a great time. Can't wait to go.
Thank you.
It's just great going over to the Sportsman's Lodge, which of course is a legendary place in North Hollywood, and it's
Studio City.
It's Studio City, yeah.
I love the Sportsman's Lodge. It when you live here in the Valley, it becomes that place for you when you have family or friends coming to town. And then back in the day, you'd put them at the Sportsman's Lodge because we didn't even have any other hotels to send them to that were decent. So to go there for an event, it's an old-fashioned place, but I love it. I think a lot of our guests stay there. They love the hotel rooms because this really cool LA hotelier came in and he updated everything in the hotel, and he's making it like this hip and groovy place. And I think it's fulfilled that.
It should.
That quest.
Yeah, like I said, it's legendary. You go into the ballroom there, and you you see things from years past, and what a glorious place it was and still is. So.
I was just at an honoring for Frankie Valli the other day, and of course they held it at the Sportsman's Lodge in the ballroom. It was great. And Diane Schur, you know who Diane Schur is?
Jazz
singer,
blind pianist. She is going to. I met her, and she says, "Oh, darling, I've always wanted to do voice work." I'm like, "Really?" And I was talking to her manager. I said, "Do you think she'd be interested in coming to VO Mastery?" She's so excited. And I thought, well, you've got the skills. She's got the music in her to be able to make any read beautiful. So, and she brings her Braille maker. So, we can't throw it. She's Diane Schur. There's nothing we can throw at her that she can't speak back to us. So this is our flyer for VO Mastery. There is a $50 just for your viewers, $50 off.
Cool.
So I don't know what it is we have to post to give them that, or they can just put VOBS 50.
It is VOBS TV.
There you go.
Check out.
And that's your and then that's your discount code if you go in and buy a ticket for VO Mastery.
Until October 16th.
Yeah, that's going to expire pretty quickly.
So
my birthday is this month. It's a week before VO Mastery. Thank you. Thank you. I love October. 9. I'm 39.
9, okay.
Yeah, I don't like to admit that to everyone. What do you want to show me? Oh, the podcast.
We're getting to the podcast.
He's running the interview.
Yes. You're doing a podcast, I hear.
Apparently I am. So here's the funny thing. You're married a long time, am I right, Dan?
23 years.
All right.
1 month from now.
Well, I'm married 33 years, and my husband and I are co-hosting a podcast together. Who'd have thunk it? Not me.
Everybody's doing it. You might as well join the party.
Well, you know what? And that's the truth. A lot of people are podcasting. Arnie and I went to Joel Denver's All Access Worldwide Radio podcast event back in May. And after watching some of the speeches about, and the seminars on podcasting, we thought, you know what? This is a great thing. And I was pitching a podcast that I was going to do with a girlfriend, and Arnie wound up coming up with an idea for a different podcast. And we went to Norm Pattis at Podcast One, and he said yes. So it's Music Connection magazine, which has been on the stands for about 40 years. In December, they're celebrating 40 years of Music Connection. And we partnered with Music Connection magazine, who is like this month's issue has Portugal the Man on it.
Okay.
Next month will be Ty Dolla $ign. So we've got all these incredible young artists coming through. Last week we interviewed Vance Joy. We did Mondo Cosmo a week before. Today we had Boy Epic. I have Martine, this young rapper. I mean, we have got these amazing musicians, artists coming through our podcast. And we're taking the great content from Music Connection magazine, bringing it live into the studio. And we don't really play music, but we're talking music. So
Yeah, so no, they're not bringing their guitars. They're not doing any performance with it, or
correct. I mean, they could if someone showed up with a guitar, but depending on what song, then we've got to get the licensing, and it gets really complicated in an age where artists really aren't making the money by recording their albums and selling them. The only way these guys can make money and gals is to tour these days.
Right.
So the royalties and publishing thing gets very tricky.
It is.
But we can take 12 seconds of a song so that we can reference it and speak about it. But really, it's the stories behind the artists that I think are fascinating, how they became to be who they are.
Right. And it's very similar to people making it in voiceover as well. Ambition, talent, drive.
You know what? You're absolutely right, because everyone that I talk to and we say, tell us about your story. What did it take to... Passion, having your eye on the ball, and doing it because you love it. Because if you try to become a voiceover actor or a rock star for the wrong reason, it's never gonna happen. You have to love it. You have to do what we do because you love it so much. Because there are so many times when you're gonna make no money, and you're doing it. The only reason is because you love it. And then eventually it pays off. But you have to do what you love. And if you don't love it passionately, it probably won't pay off. And if it does, if some sort of weird thing happens, then it's just for a short time. It's not going to be the career that sustains you.
Right. You've got to be able to sustain what you do and change with the times and,
absolutely.
And adapt.
Sure, sure.
You can't be what they call a one-trick pony sort of thing.
No, you've got to be a 360 pony today. You've got to how to figure out how to be online and, everywhere and great on every level.
All right. Well, we're talking with Randy Thomas. If you have a question for Randy, or any question at all, toss it in the chat room, and Jack Daniel will relay that question to us, and we'll continue with Randy in just a minute here. So stay tuned. We'll be right back here on VoiceOver Body Shop.
Style. Power.
You're watching the home of the NFL.
The all-new iPhone.
Reserve your Disney World season pass now.
Through all the runny noses, 3 a.m. coughs.
An all-new American Crime Story, tonight on FX.
This week only, it's Pasta Fest at Olive Garden.
Heart rate, prime. Blood pressure, perfect.
I grew up with the classics, and now with StubHub, I can get authentic tickets to the best shows.
The all-new Chevy Cruze from $16,995.
Be inspired, then get the beauty that's uniquely yours at Sephora.
This week at Home Depot, it's our Garden Fest sale with up to 30% off all garden tools, sod, and seeds.
Hi, it's J. Michael Collins, and these are just a few examples of the first-class demos my team and I are producing. If you'd like to have something similar, visit jmcvoiceover.com and click on the Demo Production tab to find out more.
Well, our good friend Harlan Hogan wrote to me again today, and he said, hey, talk about the VO1A microphone, which George Whittam will now model for you. There it is. He says, the VO1A and MicPort Pro combination. Great sound, size, and price, of course. But VoiceOverEssentials.com is pretty much the only MicPort dealer with stock right now. So anyone on the fence should order one now. Because the last time Centrance and all the dealers ran out, MicPorts were showing up on eBay for as much as $400. So you get the VO1A, which is a fabulous microphone. Great price point, great sound, designed specifically for voiceover, unlike every other microphone on the market, which was designed primarily for music. VO1A, Harlan designed it specifically for doing voiceover. Sounds great with men's voices, with women's voices, all that kind of stuff. But you also get a MicPort Pro with it, which allows you to take it on the road, and it's actually good enough to be your actual digital interface no matter where you are and in your own studio. And I know a lot of people that do use them in there. And there aren't a whole lot of them around. So if you want one, Harlan has them. And you've got them at a great price. So make sure you go over to VoiceOverEssentials.com. go to the bottom of the page, right down to the bottom of our page, and you'll find the picture of Harlan talking into his Portabooth Pro, and it will take you to the page and show you all the fabulous products that he has there. You can't miss it. It's great stuff. He backs up what he sells. If you don't like it, which is literally impossible, you can send it back. So go over to voiceoveressentials.com, and thank you, Harlan, once again for being our sponsor for 6.5 years. We couldn't do it without you. We'll be right back with Randy Thomas and your questions in just a minute.
This is John Bailey, the Epic Voice, and you're watching VOBS.TV, Monday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Newfoundland.
Hi, this is Bill Farmer, and you are watching VoiceOver Body Shop. It's great.
All righty, we're back. And Randy's just typing away on her little iPhone there. And
ABC, always be closing.
Yes.
Always be closing.
That's important. So, how were the Oscars this year? I mean, I watched.
Oh, now you ask.
I was going to get there.
Yeah. You know, it was, first of all, I hadn't been back to the Oscars in 6 years, I think, or 7 years. So going back and doing the Oscars was amazing. I thought Jimmy Kimmel was incredible. He'll be coming back this year. So I would say that it was phenomenal. I thought it was a great show. And again, right up until the end, I think we proved we don't know who wins until it's announced on the stage. So now they have made sure that'll never happen again. In addition to having someone from PricewaterhouseCoopers on the right and the stage right and stage left, there will also be a third accountant in the actual director's truck. So that if something weird happens on stage, this third person, and they don't even need to look at it, by the way. Their job is they memorized every one of them. And so if something goes wonky on stage, the third one will say, that's wrong, and the director can cut, and we won't have a situation that happened like last year. But I thought it was incredible. I thought it showed amazing class from Justin Hurwitz and everyone that was a part of La La Land to say to Moonlight, hey, Moonlight, it's not ours. We didn't win. You're the winner. And to get them up there so that they could say their thank yous before we went off the air. That was great live television at its best. And I am so proud to, be affiliated with the team, the director, Glenn Weiss, everyone from the Academy. It's an amazing...
What was going on in everyone's headset while that was going on?
3 letters. WTF. I think that was resounding everywhere. We were... No one could even believe it. It was...
Yeah. How did that alter anything you had to do?
No.
No.
I was actually ready. If they said, do Moonlight's walk up, I would have read it.
Right.
But there was nothing more fascinating than what was happening on the stage at that moment. And so everyone, let's just watch. Let's just see how this unfolds.
Just seeing Warren Beatty with the deer in the headlights, syndrome there.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
So
but it was fun.
How many folks were in the production that you remember from years past? Was there a lot of familiar faces?
So many familiar faces, George.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about when you do an Oscars or any of these shows. When I do Kennedy Center and Tony's and even Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there are the same stage managers, a lot of the same audio people, and folks involved with the actual production, because big live productions are a very specific type of broadcast. And so the people that are really great at it keep getting asked back time and time again, no matter who the bosses are, who's hiring them. They do travel all over. The biggest stage manager in the business, Gary Hood, lives in Nashville, and he flies out for every job. He's on the road a lot.
Right. Didn't you have somebody last year at VoiceOver Mastery who was the production person for that? And she was explaining how to, going through the book, as they say.
Tina Cannizzaro-DeBone. She does the Oscars, she does Emmys and the Grammys, all the big shows, especially the ones out of L.A. And she does Ryan Seacrest's New Year's show. But she's an amazing gal, and I couldn't do the show without her because she's just that good at it. And it calms you down. Doing a big live global show is extremely frightening.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for the faint of heart. And as we're moving forward, things are always changing, because if we're going long, they're starting to give you shorter copy, and things are flying, you know, in and out. And so she's the best at what she does, and she's my touchstone when we work.
Well,
so I always have a great show with Tina.
You have to work with pros, but that's the top of the profession.
Melissa
there.
Disney and Joe Cipriano, they've all worked with Tina. She is the best of the best. So yeah, I mean, I was thinking about last year's VO Mastery, and I would just say, if you're a voice actor who's making money in a specific genre, and you want to expand this for what it costs to come for the day, $275 plus you get a $50 discount. We don't have a lot of tickets left, but I would love to see the pros that come here to VOBS fill up the rest of the seats, because it's a great day.
Yeah.
It's a super great day.
It would be a lot of fun.
And we gave a ticket away.
That's true. We did.
Excellent.
We're not saying who, but
okay. Is there a reason we should?
I don't know. Can we say who it was?
Oh, sure. I think we should get it out there.
Okay.
We'll
Go ahead.
announce the winner, and then we'll tell the winner offline how to get their deal.
How about if Randy says it in the fashion of an Oscar
Okay.
awardee?
I like that idea.
Okay, let me see.
But you'd have to phrase it, of course.
Mm-hmm. And the winner of the trivia challenge for a VO Mastery ticket is Robert Laborde. See, that has to be accompanied by applause when we say someone's name like that. Dan Leonard. Thank you. George Whittam. What's his name? I forgot.
Andrew Bushwitz.
Andrew! Woo! So,
Our
by the
crack
way,
producer here.
VOBS TV will get you that $50 discount
Excellent.
if you choose to buy a ticket, and I would love to have you, and Dan would love to have you. He'll be there.
Yes, I will absolutely be there.
George is out of the country, otherwise he'd be there. I'd make him bring Maxine and come, but
Yeah.
they're gone.
Out of country? Well, they're not going to be here.
I know that much.
Yes. Okay. So we do have a couple of audience questions, do we not?
Oh, yeah.
First one, this was actually written in earlier today, so I threw it in there. It's from Kira Gurney. Hi, George and Dan. That's us two here. I would love to know what Randy thinks are the best ways to get more award show announcer gigs, and some of the bigger ones. Also, does she have any advice for a demo? Should it be an award show specific, or should it just be part of a larger announcer demo? Thanks.
Okay.
That's actually an excellent question.
Thank you. So I would say, yes, you should have an award show demo. There are plenty of award shows on YouTube. You can find that music that comes in and out. Maybe find some parts that aren't being voiced over, and just imitate some of the awards. You know, I think one of the great ways to find voice work doing live announce in your town, I don't know where you're from, but if you have, say, big hotels where there are conferences, there are ways that you can reach out. And I actually just taught this in Ann Ganguz's class a couple of weeks ago with my friend Steve Ray, who he's actually the announcer for the presidential inaugurations. He took that job over from a gentleman who had retired in his 80s just this last year. And Steve Ray does a lot. And we talk about how you can get more work. Depending on the town you're in, go find the hotels that host conferences. Let them know. Go look up and Google some of these conference providers. There's some in the Bay Area. I'm sure they're all over the country. You can find them probably in Kansas. Different kinds of promoters that actually put together these big events for corporations. Some of the best money I've ever made was doing a non-broadcast live announce for the Hotel Association of their premier, you know, it was some sort of a premier awards. And so these were really high-end hotels, and they paid beautifully to have a live voiceover for the evening. So there are different ways that you can do it. Charities, they do fashion shows, they do fun things. Try and get involved in that way. And then once you do a few of these and you put together some sort of a live announced demo, which I also help people do, so you can reach out to me about that. Just do it. You know, it's really your announce voice that they're looking for. It doesn't matter. And if you do Oscars or Tonys, they're going to know it's not you. So don't choose that show. But you could choose, I just did the Environmental Media Awards. You could do an award like that because it was non-broadcast, and go watch some of the videos these shows replay, so you can go back, watch, rewrite the things, and you can find someone that does great production to just put that, you know, orchestral introductory sound, you know, da-da-da, and your ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Right.
So, yeah.
But the style is not to be an overpowering style. It's supposed to be part of what is going on. It's sort of,
not the Emmy style guy.
right.
Yeah, you don't yell ever at an award show, and
Unless, of course,
especially
you
not
win,
in the winter walk-up. You know, I always thought of the winter walk-ups more like a golf read because I didn't want to bother the audience to make them like have to listen to me as that person is making their way from their seat to the stage. So I wanted to make it more golf-like. You know, this is Dan Leonard's second Academy Award. He was nominated in 2010. So I wanted it to be that aside, but then over the years that has become more prominent, and it's a big thing. They really want to know about their history as we escort them to the stage. But depending on the kind of awards, the job of the announcer is to be fluid, hopefully elegant, classy, and move the show forward. Keep the pace going. Don't belabor anything. Be respectful in your introductions. Don't try to act like the people you're announcing are your friends or you're really good. It's not good. It doesn't set the right tone for the audience that's listening. But then if you're doing MTV, that could be a little closer to the Emmys guy, a little more yelling and or just kind of loud speak. And if you're doing also Nickelodeon, those are younger, you know, faster paced things. But generally the job of the announcer is to move the show forward in a timely manner.
All right. Next question.
Next question. We got one here from Ann Richardson. And she says, hey, question for Randy. How do you apply or get selected to announce shows or shows like the Oscars? You may have answered this partly before, but do they just ask agencies to submit voices, or do they have an audition process? Or do your agents reach out ahead of time and try to stay on their radar?
I would say probably all of the above.
Yeah.
I think an agent who has booked one of their clients to do a major award show, that agent is all over it. And they want to get back in, whether the producer is going to choose the same talent, they at least want to pull from their, you know, from their talent. Yeah. My agents also happen to represent other people that do live. So do I have them reach out for me? Yeah, it depends on what the situation is, whether I ask them to reach out, or in many times in my case, the folks who I've worked with over the years come find me and they reach out to me. And a lot of times they'll reach out personally, and then it's like, well, let's bring in Atlas now, you know, to just do it the right way. But it's a small club, let's say that for sure. At the very top, it's a very small club. But that doesn't mean it can't be done. I always tell the story of the girl out of Atlanta, September Day Carter. She was a non-union Atlanta girl who booked the MTV Awards, and they flew her into Las Vegas to do them. And so it can happen for anyone. It didn't follow for her. She, you know, once you do a show like this and you want to be the one they use, there are just things that you need to do when you're finished with a show.
Yeah. Kim Handysides. I don't know if you know Kim.
I do.
Up there in Montreal. Now, the argument is she in Montreal or is she in Toronto? I think she's in Montreal. I think I made that mistake once before. But anyway, question for Randy. She says, you're a breakthrough voice artist and an icon and someone for other female voice artists to look up to. What do you see for the future of women in voice? Do you see any more glass ceilings to break?
Yeah, there still are. I mean, I would say in the world of trailers, That's a big glass ceiling.
Yeah. It's happening, though.
I'll tell you the next glass ceiling. I've been saying for a long time I want to do more trailers, and I'm hearing some women on trailers. No woman is doing a lot, and no film company is using women in the way that they should. So yes, there will be more women in trailers. My next glass ceiling that I would like to break personally, I want to do network news. I want to be that voice that introduces a network newscast. There have been no women doing that. So
That's true.
Yeah. So that would be the next thing I'd like to do. If we can just sort of put that out into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, anytime women can be doing more work, I'm all for it. I don't think there's a glass ceiling per se. I think a lot of times it's unfortunate, but the women that are heads of the film companies and television networks that are not pushing for women, you know, they're never going to be proactive. They're reactive. So when you finally find that first person that will say, well, let's try a woman. And then if you pick the right woman and it works, then you'll hear more of that.
Right.
If it doesn't, you know, you might not.
Right.
Or it'll take a while before they'll go, okay, well, we're ready to try it again.
Right. Well, you would hope that good casting professionals are going to find the right person, because there's so many talented women out there that can handle what they're looking for. So
Absolutely.
All righty. Another question from
Devox.
Devox. Yeah. How can one prepare and practice the skills necessary for doing such jobs at home? Also, any aspects of live announcing that one might not expect? Traps, surprises, things like that.
Well, you know, with live, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything.
Don't we know that?
Yeah. So there are always surprises, and you always have to be prepared for them. But that's always why I say you have to take care of yourself. Avoid sugar if you're going to be doing big jobs, because anytime you take an emotional hit, if you've been eating too much sugar, somehow that next flu bug or cold or whatever can zip in and take hold of you. And that's something that we all work very hard to avoid, because we all need to stay healthy so that we can, you know, do the work that we do. Was there another part to that question?
He said, let's see.
What can you do at home?
Yeah, what can you do at home?
For someone
Right.
that's not...
As
ever
far
been
as live?
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
preparatory thing. What do you practice? What do you rehearse?
Well, first of all, if you happen to have any kids and your kids are in school, I would be volunteering to help them in any way when they have any kind of an event that you can either lend a voice to a public service.
Be the MC. That's always fun at fundraising dinners.
Yeah.
Get to wear a tux or a nice dress. And,
Right.
You know, and you get to be in front of people and read the copy that they give you, which
Right.
is usually horrible, but you make the best of it.
Right. But, you know, and live opportunities can happen anywhere. I mean, truthfully.
I think the bottom line is it's not something you can practice literally at home. You have to actually be in a live situation to practice doing something live.
Right. Well, I always tell people when you book your first big live show and you go to a recording studio to record all of your bumpers and whatever other SOTs they're going to need from you that they're going to
That's sound on tape.
with a graphic.
Sound on tape.
Be aware that how you are in a studio with a beautiful mic and a nice, clean environment is not how you're going to sound when you are live to 500 million people and you have an auditorium or a theater filled with, 8,000-10,000 people and the stars are coming in. Your heart and your blood pressure is racing. And so you're at a whole other level. And it's almost as though you need to become the actor before you do those pre-records and say, okay, let me imagine the crowd, the celebrities, and imagine how you're going to feel when it's show day and they're all there. It's going to kick your voice up. It's probably going to move into a slightly higher range than you would do if you were in the studio.
Right.
The Academy Awards are brought to you by. But that sounds great. But then when you do it live in the show, it sounds like 3 different people are in the show.
Right.
But if you do it, the Academy Awards are brought to you by. It's not that perfect commercial read that's super sexy, but it's more realistic.
It's
and
informative.
It's informative, and it will pinpoint to the audience where you are throughout the evening.
Right. What kind of a mic did they use for that? Are you using a headset mic?
416, baby.
Okay. So
A headset mic? Are you kidding?
They never show anybody doing the announcement. I think that you were on
Yes,
camera
they
once.
do.
I've seen you.
No, I was
times.
not on camera. I only post pictures of me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I should be offended. No one has ever asked me to be on camera. They're like, no, just go in the booth, Randy. You're fine.
Okay.
We don't need to put a camera on you.
All right. Another question from Ann Richardson. One
Yes.
more question.
Is live announcing your primary bread and butter these days, or what other VO things are you doing? You've told us a couple things earlier, but what's kind of the balance for you in terms of work?
I would say, well, my balance comes in that I'm the voice of radio stations around the country. I'm the voice of TV affiliates around the country. So those are those daily contract jobs that you get that you don't get to make a lot of noise about because it's just your daily work. I do promo when I work for ET and for other shows. I have a couple of shows right now, one that's called The Morning Dose, that it's a Tribune, am I correct? Tribune station. So they've got maybe 15, 20 markets that are airing The Morning Dose. They're making their way to Los Angeles, hopefully in the next year. So I'm the voice of that morning program. I have some sizzle reels for some other shows that we're hoping will come out in 2018. I'm doing a podcast with my husband once a week. I'm writing a memoir. I'm about to do some audio books. I'll be leaving at the end of November to go do the Kennedy Center honors. I just did Emma Awards a couple of weeks ago. So I work all the time, but just different kinds of things. And truthfully, if I could do my live work, my podcasting, writing, teaching, I mean, that would be enough for me. It's great when you get the occasional audition that you book, and of course, my radio and TV stations, those are I love those guys. They're easy peasy, and they send me what they need, and I just quietly send it back to them.
Okay. So summing up, Voiceover Mastery, October 27th and 28th.
Right.
And at the Sportsman's Grill here. And
Sportsman's Lodge. The 27th is only if you're taking master classes. If you are coming for the one-day event, that is Saturday, October 28th, I suggest you take advantage. It's only for a few more days, this $50 off coupon for
October 16th is when it expires.
It'll expire. Yeah, so we feed you breakfast, lunch, a full day of education, a chance to buy some headshots. We've got a fantastic photographer that's come up with some really cute ideas for headshots and just everything. We've got the gear providers. We've got Gravy for the Brain from London. They're coming over. We have great sponsors, J. Michael Collins, Sennheiser, Neumann. They provide all of our microphones. It's going to be a big day. It's a couple of weeks away, and I can't wait.
And you can't wait till it's over, too. So
well, I'm looking forward to maybe resting on the 29th.
Okay.
How do they find your podcast again?
Yeah.
Oh, so if you just Google Music Connection and Podcast One, it will come up. Or if you download the Podcast One app, or you can go into your Apple or iTunes store and Music Connection Podcast, Google that. Yeah, and guess what? In Music Connection, every Friday, we do a Friday freebie giveaway.
Cool.
$300 worth of gear every Friday. Ooh. All you have to do is get on the mailing list at Music Connection, and we pull a name. You can only enter once. You know how those randomizers hate you. If you go more than once, you're out.
Right.
But yeah, so that's
Cool.
it. I thank you so much for having me
Thank
here.
you, Randy.
We have to do this
Always
at least once a year.
At least.
Whether we need it or not.
All righty. Thank you, Randy Thomas, for telling us all that
Thank
great
you,
stuff.
George. Thanks, Dan.
All righty. We'll be right back and wrap things up right after this.
Your dynamic voiceover career requires extra resources to keep moving ahead. Now there's one place where you can explore everything the voiceover industry has to offer. That place is voiceoverextra.com. Whether you're just exploring a voiceover career or a seasoned veteran ready to reach that next professional level, stay in touch with market trends, coaching, products, and services while avoiding scams and other pitfalls. VoiceOver Extra has hundreds of articles, free resources, and training that will save you time and help you succeed. Learn from the most respected respected talents, coaches, and industry insiders when you join the online sessions bringing you the most current information on topics like audiobooks, auditioning, casting, home studio setup and equipment, marketing, performance techniques, and much more. It's time to hit your one-stop daily resource for voiceover success. Sign up for a free subscription to newsletters and reports and get 14 bonus reports on how to ace the voiceover audition. It's all here at voiceoverextra.com. That's voiceoverextra.com.
Having dinner tonight? How about having some VO too?
Voiceover Body Shop.
Have some voiceover with your dinner tonight on VoiceOver Body Shop, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Are we at minus 4 dB? We're at minus 4 dB on VOBS.
Before time began, there was VOBS.TV. Watch or else.
Are you interested in voiceover but don't know where to start? Have you taken some classes but still don't have a sense of where you fit in? Are you doing all the things you're supposed to do but still not getting where you want to be? The VO Dojo may have just the thing for you. The You Should Do Voiceover 6-week virtual intensive is starting this Saturday. You Should Do Voiceover gives you a comprehensive overview and a little taste of everywhere where your voice can be making you money. It's building a foundation of skills and tools, both organic and technical in approach, that will start you thinking and processing like a VO pro. It'll complement and supplement whatever training you've already done and open new ways of thinking about copy that can get you booking. The 6 weeks class is virtual, so you can jump in from wherever you are in the world and wherever you are on your voiceover journey. It's all starting this Saturday, so sign up today at thevodojo.com. Use the promo code DOJO50 and save $50. www.thevodojo.com. And now, I guess we're all finished for tonight.
Yes, we are.
I think we've run out of commercials. Time to go home. But we got to tell you about what's coming up in the next couple of weeks on our show.
Yes, we do.
Next week, we have an interesting guest. This is going to be something that people are going to find fascinating. John Gidcombe, who is the casting director of Loop de Loop ADR and Looping Group in L.A. for all the top box office movies like Marvel movies, Planet of the Apes, X-Men, Avatar. ADR is one of those interesting areas of voiceover that you don't hear a whole lot about. But he's going to tell us more about it and how to get involved with ADR. Let's see. October 23rd, Pam Muldoon will be with us. She is a social media guru.
Oh, yeah.
She knows her stuff about social media, and especially in regarding to voiceover.
Yeah,
so
and she's a new media, like podcast and that kind of thing, expert as well. She's spoken at like NAB and stuff on this. So
right.
She's a total pro.
Yeah. And then on October 30th, because he just happens to be in town for Voiceover Mastery.
Sure.
The voiceover attorney, actor, producer, and floor wax, Rob Siglampaglia, will be with us to talk about voiceover legal issues, which are always fascinating. Who are our donors of the week?
Oh, boy. We definitely got them. Some of you folks just subscribe so that your donations come in every week. Most of you once a month, which is totally fine with us. But a few of you that donate once a week include Eric Aragoni. The man does not miss a show. I don't even know if he watches the show every week, but he still sends us money, which is so nice. Thanks, Eric. So cool. VoiceOverDude.com. That's Cam Cornelius.
Yep.
He's a donor to the show tonight. Down the list, we got Don Griffith. He is one of those folks who just pays every single month, sends us a little bit of money. You can do it for $1. I mean, literally $1 you can do if you want. Tracy H. Reynolds, one of our donors to the show. And then we go back into the week before, the names I've announced prior. So those are the fresh ones for the week.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks for doing that. It helps us make the best of what we have here. And as you probably can tell, technically the show is, it's reliable, it looks great, and it's because of all your help, and we really appreciate it.
It is.
Let's see here. You still have your Libra 2017 coupon code going there?
I do. If you go to georgethetech.com and you want consulting sessions where we book time together 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, an hour, whatever the time you need, you can do that right there. And when you book up, you can use Libra 2017 in the coupon code spot for 30% off until October 22nd.
All right. The voiceover tonight was by John... What was his name?
John Henry Krause.
John Henry Krause. Thanks,
Yes.
John Henry Krause, for sending that in probably about 6 months ago. But we threw that one in there tonight. You too can get your voice on there, and we'll tell you how one of these days when we do the new one, which has to be done soon. Maybe we should just hang out here and just do video of ourselves tonight, and let me just put it together. Alrighty. Let's see here. Show logs. Jack DeGolia is still sitting out there in the desert and writing down everything we say. And when you go to the YouTube video that will be posted this evening, by tomorrow he will have it all there, all the times, all that stuff.
Stamped, indexed.
Yeah, makes it a lot easier for you to follow the show. Something you want to hear about, but you do want to hear about this, go, oh, it starts here. You just go, whoop, and there you go. Very valuable service to you. Our podcast is on Stitcher Radio, iTunes, eWebs at eWebs.podbean.com.
That's right.
A lot of people like to listen to
An
the
homage
podcast.
to the old show name that's stuck on the podcasting site.
Yeah. All righty. We have a survey, too. Important. I just took a long survey today from Chevy because I bought a Chevy a couple weeks ago, and it was like half an hour.
Wow.
Our survey is not half an hour.
It is not a half an hour. Gee. I mean, if you want to type a dissertation about how to do the show better, you know, we gave you a space. You can fill it in. Take as long as you want. But no, it doesn't take that long.
Yes. Would you like to be in our studio, like our studio audience tonight?
There they are.
They've come to join us tonight. All you have to do is write to us at the guys at VOBS.tv and say, hey, I am going to be there on such and such a date. And then if we're doing a show that particular night, we'll say, hey, well, then come on down. We'll give you the address, but then we have to kill you afterwards. So you don't tell anybody where we actually are.
And those shows are actually on Monday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific time. For those of you who are listening to the show, or don't watch it live, at 6 Pacific time every Monday, with occasional holidays here and there.
Occasional.
We did not take today's holiday off.
Today's a holiday?
Today was an annoying banker holiday.
Oh, it was
I went
Columbus
to the
Day.
bank to get a bunch of stuff done, and I couldn't do it. Annoying.
I knew. You know how I knew it was Columbus Day?
What?
I was driving down Coldwater Canyon, and there were a lot of mattresses out because people are buying mattresses on Columbus Day.
Okay.
A lot of Columbus Day mattress sales.
My God, go figure.
We're driving down the street, and it's like, why are they? Oh, it's Columbus Day. People are buying mattresses.
Kidneys.
All right. Anyway, if you want to be on the show, just write to us there. Our sponsors, we of course need to thank Harlan Hogan's Voiceover Essentials
and the Voiceover Extra website,
Source Elements,
VO2GoGo and the Rehearsal app,
the VO Dojo,
and Voice Actor Websites,
along with and J. Michael Collins demos.
Oh yes.
So thanks guys for sponsoring our show and helping us make it happen. We'd like to thank, of course, Marcy for letting us hang out here in the garage every Monday night.
Thank you.
Our producer, Catherine Curridon, for the great job she does booking us fabulous guests like Randy Thomas and this great lineup we've got coming up in the rest of October. We'd like to thank Jack Daniel for being our social media manager and getting it done on the internet there. He's monitoring 2 chat rooms. How does he do it? It's amazing. And, of course, our amazing floor producer who is totally tip-top tonight, Andrew Bushwitz.
Totally dialed. Totally dialed.
Takes everything we throw at him. And, of course, Jack DeGolia for doing the show notes and Lee Pinney for simply being Lee Pinney. That's going to do it for us tonight. And, there's lots of great stuff out there to learn about voiceover. You heard a little bit about some stuff tonight. We're always here every Monday night to tell you the stuff you need to know. So tune in and work hard out there. Keep practicing. I'm Dan Leonard.
I'm George Whittam.
And this is Voiceover
Body Shop,
or VOBS.
Yes.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Monday night.
Thanks, Catherine.
Learn the latest in voiceover technology, business, and good old-fashioned acting.
I really like your bracelet. It's awesome.
Hey, Paul, where did you get that watch?
That's really cool.
And a hamburger with no cheese, please.
Every Monday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on VoiceOverBodyShop.com.